My beloved, lean close and listen with the ears of your soul. For there are days marked in heaven's own calendar, days when the wind whispers your name differently, when your prayers carry a little more power, when the angels bend their ears toward your trembling lips. October 24th is such a day. This day, my child, is stitched with divine opportunity. It is not an ordinary day, no, not one to be lived half awake. It is a day sanctified for sudden blessings, a day when Saint Expedite, the swift helper of those in urgent need, walks the earth with open hands. And if your heart is heavy with lack, if your table is bare, if your bills rise like mountains, and your hope feels small as a mustard seed, then this message, this prayer, this promise is for you. You see, there are moments when heaven seems to delay its mercy. You've fasted. You've waited. You've done all you know to do, but your purse still whispers emptiness. Your bank account hums a sad lullaby. It is in that aching space between want and waiting that Saint Expedite appears. Not slow, not doubtful, but swift. He is the saint of the now, the one who moves when delay is no longer a teacher but a tormentor. On this October 24th, open your hands, open your spirit, open your mouth, and say with me, Saint Expedite, you who know the weight of human need, I call upon you this day. Come quickly to my aid, for I am in financial distress. Bring forth the resources I require, honestly, honorably, and abundantly. You who stand before the throne of God, intercede for me. May your swift blessing remove my burdens and grant me the strength to give in return. I promise to spread your name with gratitude and faith. Amen. There are days, my child, when the calendar of heaven turns a sacred page and the ordinary folds itself into the extraordinary. Days when the unseen hand of God moves across time, touching hearts and homes, stirring winds that whisper, now is your moment. October 24th is such a day. It is not just a number printed on paper, not merely a date to be crossed off or forgotten. It is a divine appointment, a heavenly invitation to believe that something swift and good is on its way. You see, every life has seasons, moments of sowing, moments of waiting, and precious moments of reaping. But October 24th belongs to those who have been waiting too long. Those who have felt the sting of delay, those who have prayed until their voices grew hoarse and still saw no door open. This day, beloved, is heaven's answer to your endurance. It is a reminder that God's clock does not tick in vain. It may not move according to your schedule, but it never fails to strike at the perfect hour. On October 24th, the air itself feels different for those who are listening. It carries an expectancy, a trembling anticipation. It is as though the universe pauses, waiting for a single heart to believe enough to speak the words that open the floodgates. You see, the problem is not that blessings are scarce. The problem is that faith often grows weary in the waiting. But this day, this one blessed day, has been set apart to reignite that faith, to restore your confidence that the God who began your story has not forgotten how to finish it with glory. The saints and angels, those divine messengers who move between heaven and earth, know that human hearts are fragile things. They know the weariness that comes from holding on to hope, while bills pile high and opportunities run thin. And among those heavenly helpers stands one known for his swiftness, Saint Expedite. He is the saint of divine acceleration, the one who runs when others walk, who delivers when others delay. On October 24th, his presence is near to those whose faith trembles but does not break. Do you know, my friend, that even time bends to divine command, that heaven can take what should have taken years and make it happen in days, that the same God who turned water into wine can turn scarcity into sufficiency and waiting into wonder. This day, October 24, is the day to believe in sudden transformation. It is the day to stop mourning what has not come and start expecting what is already on its way. Imagine it now, the dawn of that morning. The sunlight slips through your window, not as light alone, but as a promise. You rise, perhaps tired, perhaps unsure, but something deep within you feels stirred. That, my dear, is your spirit recognizing divine timing. It is the soul's whisper saying, get ready, heaven is near. Do not treat this day casually. Walk into it as you would into a sacred sanctuary. Every breath you take should be a prayer, every word a seed of expectation. For this day carries the kind of spiritual electricity that makes miracles possible. The moment your lips part to speak faith, heaven leans in to listen. Now hear me well. God is not bound by days and dates, but he often chooses them as signs for his children. October 24th is one of those signs. It is the trumpet sound for those who have suffered in silence, for those who have felt overlooked, for those whose faith has been tested almost to breaking. The energy of this day, my beloved, is divine urgency. It says the time is now. When you rise on October 24th, rise with purpose. Wash your face, clothe yourself not just in garments but in faith. Speak to your reflection and say, this is my day of divine speed. Let your words be filled with conviction, because words have wings and faith gives them flight. There is no prayer too small, no heart too broken, no wallet too empty for heaven's attention. Saint Expedite moves on behalf of those who dare to ask boldly. He walks into your circumstance not with hesitation but with divine haste. He is the messenger of now. He whispers to your spirit that God is not late. He is preparing you to receive what could not come before its season. Do not be surprised if on this day you feel a shift in the air around you. Perhaps an unexpected message arrives. Perhaps an opportunity long closed begins to reopen. Perhaps peace enters your home after months of chaos. These are the signs that heaven is near. Do not dismiss them as coincidence. Recognize them as confirmation. The power of October 24th lies not only in the calendar but in your belief. If you approach it with casual indifference, it will pass like any other day. But if you honor it, if you step into it with reverence, expectation, and courage, then it will unfold like a divine symphony, each note echoing the music of answered prayers. My child, the God who rules the galaxies is the same God who watches over your rent, your meals, your needs. He knows your deadlines, your debts, your fears. And on this sacred day, he has dispatched his swift messenger to help you. Saint Expedite does not ask if you are worthy, he asks only if you believe. For belief is the key that turns heaven's lock. So stand firm. Do not be disheartened by the slowness of yesterday. October 24th is your day of quickening. Your prayers that once seemed to fall flat are now rising like smoke before the throne of grace. Your faith, bruised but unbroken, has reached the ears of heaven. And when the day ends, when the stars climb into the night sky, lift your hands and thank God for what is already shifting. Even before you see the full manifestation, thank him. Because faith that praises before the evidence is faith that moves mountains. October 24th is not magic. It is mercy. It is not superstition. It is synchronization between divine timing and human belief. It is the day heaven reminds you that your story is still unfolding, that your chapter of lack is closing, and that abundance is not a stranger to your doorstep. So when you speak the prayer of Saint Expedite, speak it with a heart alive with hope. Believe that on this very day the winds of heaven are blowing in your direction. Walk in confidence, my child, because October 24th was written in heaven's own handwriting as a day of sudden help. And when the blessing comes, and it will, remember to stand still for a moment. Look up. Whisper your gratitude. For on that day, heaven will have visited you, and you will know that divine timing is never late, and your faith has found its appointed hour. Prayer is not simply words that fall from the tongue. It is breath rising from the soul, a melody sung between heaven and earth. It is the sacred rhythm of faith that calls the unseen into being. And when the prayer is spoken with conviction, when it carries the scent of trust and the weight of surrender, it becomes more than a plea, it becomes power. The prayer to Saint Expedite is such a power. It is not the utterance of the desperate, but the declaration of the determined. It is a call to divine swiftness, a holy urgency wrapped in reverence and faith. When one says this prayer, one must not whisper it as though afraid the universe will laugh. No, child, one must speak it with the strength of one who knows they are heard. Too often we pray timidly, as if we are undeserving of mercy, as if we are intruding upon the throne of God. But heaven delights in the sound of sincere faith. Heaven does not flinch when you cry out, "Help me, Lord." It listens, it moves, it responds. Saint Expedite is known not for delay but for haste in holy things. He is the saint of immediacy, the one who carries petitions with wings. When you call upon him, you call upon the energy of divine acceleration, the kind of help that comes when the weight has worn you thin, when the nights have been too long, when you have run out of explanations but not out of hope. This prayer, beloved, is for those who stand at the edge of faith, trembling but still reaching upward. When you begin to pray, pause for a moment and remember who you are speaking to. You are speaking to the Creator who knows every hair on your head, to the God who formed you in His image, to the one who never tires of your tears. You are speaking to the divine messenger, Saint Expedite, who stands ready to intercede on your behalf, not tomorrow but now. You must feel the sacred weight of this truth as you pray, for the power of the prayer is not in its poetry but in your belief. The words themselves carry an ancient rhythm. Saint Expedite, you who know the weight of human need, I call upon you this day. That first line is not a request, it is a revelation. It tells heaven, I know that I am seen. The human heart has long sought acknowledgement more than answers, and this prayer begins by naming that connection. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. Someone in the realm of spirit knows your need and moves toward it. As you continue, come quickly to my aid, for I am in financial distress. You speak the language of truth. There is no shame in naming your struggle. Too often we decorate our prayers with polite phrases, afraid to sound needy, but the heavens honor honesty. God does not need your perfection. He desires your authenticity. Tell him your bills are due. Tell him your cupboards are bare. Tell him your hope flickers like a candle in the wind. And when you do, the spirit of Saint Expedite begins to move, gathering the invisible threads of provision and weaving them toward your life. The next breath of the prayer is the turning point. Bring forth the resources I require, honestly, honorably, and abundantly. Oh, what a beautiful balance of humility and boldness. You are not begging for scraps but claiming sufficiency. You are declaring that what comes will come cleanly, without deceit, without harm, and without shame. There is power in that word honorably, for it tells the universe that you desire not only blessing but blessing with integrity. Then you who stand before the throne of God, intercede for me. These words remind you that help is not far away. Saint Expedite is not lost in the halls of heaven. He stands before the very seat of divine justice, and he speaks your name there, whispering your needs into the ear of the Almighty. Think on that for a moment. Your name, spoken in heaven, not as a complaint, but as a petition of love. May your swift blessing remove my burdens and grant me the strength to give in return. Here lies the secret to the prayer's power: gratitude before fulfillment, generosity before gain. For when you pray not only to receive but also to give, you align yourself with the eternal flow of abundance. You tell heaven that you understand the sacred economy. What flows to you must also flow through you. The prayer ends with a promise. I promise to spread your name with gratitude and faith. That is not a transaction, it is a covenant. You are saying, when I am blessed, I will testify. I will not hoard the glory. I will share it. Such a vow sends ripples through the spiritual realm. Gratitude multiplies miracles, and testimony plants seeds for others to believe. But, my dear, remember this: when you say this prayer, you must not say it as if reading from a script. Each word must be a living fire on your tongue. It must rise from the furnace of faith and the well of need. Close your eyes. See your burdens as weights falling away. See your finances turning from lack to overflow. Feel the shift in your spirit as the words leave your lips. Prayer, in its truest form, is not persuasion. It is partnership. You are not convincing God to bless you. You are aligning yourself with what He already desires to give. When you speak the prayer of Saint Expedite, you are saying, Lord, I am ready for the blessing you have already prepared. And after you pray, be still. Do not rush away as though nothing has happened. The silence after prayer is sacred. It is the womb in which miracles are conceived. In that quiet space, the universe rearranges itself on your behalf. People you have never met may begin to think of you. Doors that were shut may begin to unlock. The prayer sets it all in motion. Now let your heart hold fast to this truth. Prayer works not by repetition, but by revelation. Say it once and mean it with your whole being. Then walk as though it has already been answered. Speak abundance over your life. Act with faith. Smile at the future. And when the blessing arrives, because it will, do not say, "What a coincidence." Say, "What a confirmation." The power of this prayer is not found in its ancient words, but in the living faith of the one who dares to speak them. So on that blessed day, October 24th, light your candle, open your heart, and call upon Saint Expedite. Let your voice rise like incense, fragrant and fearless. Speak as one who knows that heaven listens swiftly. For when faith and urgency meet, miracles move with the speed of light. And when you have finished praying, lift your head high. Do not look for the answer in fear, but in expectation. For the moment you spoke those words, the heavens began to stir. Angels took flight. Blessings began their journey toward you. And all of it, every shimmering drop of grace, began with one powerful prayer spoken in faith. Prayer isn't a formula to be recited. It is the trembling heartbeat of the soul. When a person prays with their whole being, words stop being mere sound and become power. That is the secret hidden inside the invocation of Saint Expedite. The name itself carries the fragrance of urgency, the promise of quick compassion. You do not whisper it as one who doubts. You breathe it as one who knows that heaven listens. When you call upon this saint, you are stepping into a river of faith that has carried the desperate, the hopeful, the patient, and the weary for centuries. You are saying, "I believe that help can come swiftly and honestly." You are not begging. You are declaring that your life and your labor are worthy of divine attention. Speak the prayer with a straight back and an open heart. Saint Expedite, you who know the weight of human need, I call upon you this day. Come quickly to my aid, for I am in financial distress. Bring forth the resources I require, honestly, honorably, and abundantly. You who stand before the throne of God, intercede for me. May your swift blessing remove my burdens and grant me the strength to give in return. I promise to spread your name with gratitude and faith. Amen. Each line is a step deeper into trust. The first words are remembering you are not alone in your need. The next are a confession of truth, poverty, debt, confusion, the raw facts of life. And honesty is holy. The middle of the prayer is courage, a refusal to ask for scraps, a declaration that what comes to you will come clean. And the ending, the promise of gratitude, is the bridge between your lack and your abundance. Gratitude keeps the gate open. You must speak this prayer like someone who has seen too many nights of waiting. Let it rise from your belly, not your throat. Let the words carry the scent of hope and the rhythm of your heartbeat. For prayer is not persuasion, it is partnership. God does not need convincing, He needs your cooperation. When you speak, you are aligning your breath with the divine will that already intends to bless you. After you pray, do not rush. Sit in the quiet. Feel the air shift. Faith works in silence just as surely as thunder follows lightning. The very moment you finish speaking, invisible hands begin to move. A mind opens, a path clears, a phone call finds its way to you. The prayer has gone to work. And when the answer comes, and it will come, as surely as morning follows night, lift your eyes and whisper thanks. Tell the story. Let someone else know that help is real and that it can be swift. Gratitude multiplies miracles. Prayer begins them, faith sustains them, and thanksgiving seals them. So say the words with courage. Say them on October 24th, or any day when your spirit trembles. Say them not as a beggar, but as a believer. For the power is not only in the saint you invoke. It is in the faith that dares to ask and the heart that expects to receive. There are languages that only the soul understands. They are not spoken in words, but in gestures, in light, in the soft trembling of faith. When you place a candle before your prayer, when you set a coin beside it, when you pour a glass of water and lay a piece of bread near, these are not rituals of superstition. They are the poetry of belief, the choreography of surrender. They tell the universe, I am ready. They tell heaven, I am expecting. You see, child, the divine moves through symbols. God painted rainbows to promise peace, sent doves to whisper hope, and parted seas to show his might. Every act of faith is a bridge between the seen and the unseen. And when you light that candle to Saint Expedite, when you offer bread, when you place that single coin, you are not just decorating an altar, you are opening a door. The candle, glowing with steady flame, is not merely wax and wick. It is a living witness to your prayer. Its light travels upward, carrying your petition like smoke to the throne of grace. A red candle speaks of urgency, of need that cannot wait another dawn. It says, God, I am standing on the edge of time. Meet me here, swiftly. A gold candle speaks of prosperity, of hope dressed in abundance. It declares, Lord, I am ready for overflow. And as the flame flickers, it mirrors your spirit, sometimes steady, sometimes trembling, yet always burning toward belief. Bread and water, those humble offerings, hold a holiness older than memory. Bread, the sustenance of body, speaks of nourishment and daily provision. It whispers to heaven, feed my need, Lord, that I may feed others. Water, clear and pure, is the symbol of cleansing, of spiritual renewal. When you place it before your prayer, you are saying, wash away my fear, my doubt, my lack, and let me stand refreshed in faith. These simple offerings do not bribe the divine. They honor it. They say, I bring what I have and I trust you to bless it. And then there is the coin. Small, shining, but mighty in meaning. It is not the value of the metal that moves heaven, but the spirit of release. That coin represents your willingness to give even in scarcity. It says, I will not let fear of lack hold my hand closed. I give because I believe there is more coming. And oh, how the universe rushes to fill an open hand. When you bring these symbols together, light, bread, water, and coin, you create a sacred harmony. It is not magic. It is intention woven with reverence. It is you telling God that you are not simply wishing, you are preparing. You are setting the table for the miracle you expect to dine on. Some will look and say, why all these things? Isn't prayer enough? And I say, yes, prayer is enough. But faith, when it becomes flesh, when it moves through your hands and eyes and body, becomes even stronger. Symbols make faith visible. They teach the senses what the Spirit already knows, that God is near, that help is coming, that miracles are real. When you light your candle, do not rush the moment. Sit before it. Watch the flame dance. Feel the quiet hum of expectation. The candle's fire is like the heartbeat of your belief, a steady pulse in the dark. As it burns, let your worries melt with it. Each flicker is a reminder that even a small light can push back a room full of shadows. That is what faith does. It makes the impossible glow with possibility. And when the water shimmers in its glass, imagine it holding your reflection. See in it not your fear, but your hope. The clarity of the water is a mirror to the purity of your intention. Whisper into it your prayer. Let abundance flow as freely as this water flows. Then after your prayer, pour it out onto the earth, onto a plant, or into running water. It is your way of saying, what I ask for, I release into God's hands. The bread, too, should not be wasted. Break it, share it, or give it to the birds. Let it carry the message of provision beyond your altar. For faith hoarded grows stale, but faith shared multiplies. The coin you offer can later be given to someone in need or placed in a donation box. When it leaves your hand, it carries your prayer into motion. All of these acts, these symbols, are the language of expectancy. They speak louder than anxiety. They say, I am not waiting in fear, I am waiting in faith. They transform your space from a room into a sanctuary, your need into a declaration. And while you sit in that sacred glow, remember these objects are not the source of power. They are reminders of where power truly resides, within your faith and God's grace. The candle will burn out, the water will evaporate, the bread will crumble, and the coin will pass from your palm. But what remains is the energy they awakened in you, the awareness that you are a participant in your own miracle. Symbols open channels, yes, but they do so because they open hearts. When you engage your hands, your eyes, your body in worship, you involve all of yourself in believing, and God responds not to partial faith, but to wholehearted surrender. So, my dear one, when October 24th comes, and you light your candle, do not simply see it as a ritual. See it as a proclamation. Say with your spirit, this is my act of readiness. I am aligning my world with heaven's sip's rhythm. I am opening every window of my soul for God's sip's wind to blow through. If you can, pray aloud as the light flickers. I am open to divine provision. I am ready for Saint Expedite's swift help. Let prosperity find me. Let peace surround me. Let gratitude follow me. Speak it, breathe it, believe it. For your words are seeds and your symbols are soil. And as you watch the light glow and fade, know that your prayer does not end when the flame does. The smoke that rises carries your intention upward, beyond sight, beyond sound, into the eternal ear of God. You have not just prayed, you have made your belief visible. Faith, when it is embodied, becomes unstoppable. These simple acts of offering are not superstition. They are sacred performance. They remind you that heaven honors those who prepare. They are your way of saying, Lord, I am not just asking for a blessing, I am making room for it. And oh, when that blessing comes, and you will look back at that little flame, that coin, that glass of water, that piece of bread, and you will know they were never small things. They were the first signs of your surrender, the first whispers of your miracle, the first movements of divine speed in your life. Gratitude, my child, is the fragrance that lingers after the flower of blessing has bloomed. It is the soft hum that heaven listens for after the thunder of your prayer has rolled across the sky. Too often people ask with passion but thank with hesitation. They cry out for help when the night is dark, but when morning comes they forget to sing. Yet gratitude, steady, sincere, and spoken from the soul, is the key that keeps heaven's windows open. It is not only the end of a miracle but the beginning of another. When you have called upon Saint Expedite, when you have cried for swift help and watched your blessing unfold, your first duty is to give thanks. Not because God needs it, not because the saint demands it, but because gratitude transforms you. It shifts your heart from fear to faith, from survival to abundance. Gratitude says, I remember who delivered me. It keeps you humble enough to kneel and strong enough to rise. You see, gratitude is not just an emotion. It is an action, a rhythm, a way of living. It is the posture of a soul that recognizes divine fingerprints on every detail. When you receive what you have prayed for, a payment made, a debt forgiven, a door suddenly opened, you must pause, take a breath, whisper a thank you that shakes the air around you. That simple act becomes a song in the heavens. There is something holy about saying thank you out loud. When you speak those words, you give form to faith. You confirm to the universe that you have received, and what is acknowledged is amplified. Gratitude multiplies blessings. The heart that says thank you today will have reason to say it again tomorrow. The lips that bless instead of complain become magnets for mercy. Saint Expedite, that swift messenger of God, does not move through the world seeking fame, but when his help arrives and a believer gives thanks, it is like the echo of a bell calling others to faith. When you tell your story, when you say, I prayed and I was answered, you become a vessel through which someone else's hope is born. Gratitude shared is seed planted, and oh, how quickly such seeds bloom. So when your miracle comes, and it will honor it, light another candle, not for asking this time, but for thanking. Let its flame be your song of praise. Write a note in your journal, mark the day on your calendar, and say, here, God moved for me. Tell a friend, speak the saint's name with joy, give credit to the hand that blessed you. Each testimony you share becomes a bridge for another soul to cross from doubt to belief. But gratitude, my dear, is not reserved only for the days of harvest. True gratitude must also dwell in the seasons of waiting. The thankful heart thanks in advance. When you say, I believe you, Lord, even before I see the way you are building your miracle's foundation, gratitude before the blessing is the boldest form of faith. It tells heaven, I trust your promise more than my circumstance. There will be days when the blessing has not yet come, when the bills still rest on the table, and the silence of waiting grows heavy. Even then, you must find something to thank God for. Thank Him for strength that kept you standing. Thank Him for the breath that still fills your lungs. Thank Him for the hope that has not died, even in the desert of delay. Gratitude in dry places calls forth rain. And remember this, gratitude and generosity walk hand in hand. To thank is to give. When your blessing arrives, share a portion of it, however small, with another. Feed someone who hungers as you once did. Help a neighbor in quiet need. Donate to a cause that uplifts others. Each act of giving is an echo of your thankfulness. It tells heaven, I have received enough to give, and I trust there will always be more. This is how gratitude sustains the miracle. It keeps the river of blessing flowing. Too often people close their hands once they've received. They clutch what was meant to circulate. But abundance is not hoarded, it is honored through motion. The more you give, the more room you create for the next blessing to enter. Gratitude opens your palm and says, Lord, let me be a vessel, not a vault. Now, my child, understand this. Gratitude is not loudness. It is not performance. It can be a silent tear rolling down your cheek, a smile at the sunrise, a whispered thank you while washing your dishes. It is a spirit that lingers in your daily living, turning every task into worship. When you rise, you thank. When you eat, you thank. When you lie down, you thank. Gratitude becomes the rhythm of your breath, the melody of your heart. And when your heart is full of thanks, fear has no room to dwell. Anxiety cannot breathe where gratitude sings. The grateful soul is never truly poor, for it counts riches that gold cannot buy, peace, love, laughter, and the quiet knowing that God is faithful. So when you say your prayer to Saint Expedite and feel the answer unfold, whether it is a check in the mail, a call you didn't expect, a burden lifted, remember to praise. Stand before that candle once more and say, thank you, Lord, for hearing me. Thank you, Saint Expedite, for moving swiftly on my behalf. Speak it as a declaration, not just of past mercy, but of future faith. For every thank you is also a prophecy of more to come. And if the answer has not yet arrived, thank anyway. Thank God for working behind the scenes, for aligning what you cannot yet see. Gratitude in advance tells the universe that you are certain of your victory. It says, even if it tarries, it will come. When you live in gratitude, miracles become your companions. They walk beside you quietly, like sunlight following your shadow. Gratitude keeps your eyes open to see blessings hidden in the everyday, the stranger's kindness, the laughter of a child, the beauty of a dawn. These are all whispers of divine care waiting for your acknowledgement. So, beloved, let gratitude be your garment and your song. Wear it even when the road is rough. Sing it even when the night is long. For thanksgiving is the soul's perfume, and God is drawn to its scent. The saint who helps you, the angels who guard you, the Creator who made you, they all rejoice when your heart hums that sweet refrain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For the one who lives with gratitude will never run out of reasons to rejoice. Their life becomes a garden where blessings never stop blooming because gratitude waters every seed. So keep thanking, keep believing, keep giving, and watch as heaven continues to pour. For gratitude, my child, is not the end of the miracle, it is the breath that keeps it alive.